What's going on, Sports Talk Indy? It was a wild weekend in Colts news, and there's still a lot of unknowns, still a lot of things to be decided. But we look forward to the draft. The draft is just over a month away, and it looks like the Colts still don't have a direct line. But we did get some news. We got some news this week as to what at least the first several picks of the draft are going to be. We now know that 4 of the top 6 picks are likely going to be quarterback. It was leaked this week that Ian Rappaport reported, that the Bears are for sure going to be selecting Caleb Williams number 1 overall. Now, that is the first domino to fall as to where the rest of the league is going to go in their drafts. It does look like J.J. McCarthy is going to go in the first round, Jaden Daniels is going to go in the first round, and Drake May is likely going into the first round. So that's 4 picks of the top. Now, what does that mean for the Colts? That means something very simply. It means that the Colts will likely have better picks because they're not drafting a quarterback in the first round. So we're going to go through the latest mock draft and just analyze the Colts picks that they have. There's some that I agree with, some that I don't. So here's 3 names that the Colts have been linked to in the draft so far. The Colts have been linked to Brock Bowers very heavily out of Georgia. I like that pick, but it's not my favorite. I would really like to see the Colts go for more of a. I mean, tight end can be a star player, but I definitely would like to see them go either wide receiver or cornerback, or add to that defensive backfield. Even if the Colts get Snead, even if the Colts sign Diggs, I still want to see them add some depth to that position, or add some depth even to the linebacker room, or offensive line. I would like to see in the second round. So, anyways, getting ahead of myself. So in the first round, the latest mock draft has the Colts selecting Brian Thomas Jr. out of LSU. Now, I like this pick a lot. I like this pick a lot because it adds a speedy wide receiver. Now, this guy was literally made in a factory for Chris Ballard. Check us his stats, measurements, I guess. He's a 6'3", 209-pound wide receiver. That is literally, of the average height and weight of wide receivers that Chris Ballard has drafted in his 8 years with the Colts, that's like the average. It's 6'3", 209 pounds. That's literally his guy. But don't let that fool you. His arm length is 32 3/4. His hand is 9 3/4. So good there. But this is this is from his combine results. He has a 4.33 40-yard dash. That's quick. That's a very fast. That is way faster than any guy that we got on the team right now. So 4.33 is very good. He had a 1.5 10-yard split, 38.5 vertical, very good, and a 10'6" broad jump, and then 11 reps on the bench press. So all of that's really, really good. His athleticism score from the next gen stats is a 92, which is amazing. Like that's incredible. And then his prospect grade is a 6.4, which means he will become a starter, a good starter within the next 2 years, which is really, really good. They have him at 86 overall coming out of the combine, which I think is great. And I would love to see the Colts take I feel like aside from Anthony Richardson, they've not taken a big jump in the first round for like a star wide receiver or anything like that. So I would love to see this. I think that this fits the Ballard mold for wide receiver. You still got Michael Pittman that's going to draw. You still got Josh Downs, who's going to be a good slot guy. I think this would provide a really good option for down the field options for Anthony Richardson. And again, he's 6'3", 209. Like that's a very good size for a wide receiver. So I like this pick a lot. I hope that the Colts would go with a pick like this. I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr., there's no way he's going to be available at 15. I think we all want it for the legacy of it, but he's not going to be available at 15. That's just fact of the matter. But I mean, I like this a lot. So hopefully I like this mock draft, the most recent one. So anyways, that's round 1, pick 15, Colts select Brian Thomas Jr. I really like that. So next pick. Okay, the Colts don't pick again, obviously, until round 2. And round 2, their pick is 46. So yeah, so it's just the same in round 2. And this is projected for them to select T.J. Tampa, and that is a cornerback out of Iowa State. Hometown St. Petersburg, Florida. He's a 6'1", 189 pounds. So kind of similar build, a little bit on the smaller side, but that's normal for corners. Corners aren't generally the biggest guys. His athleticism score wasn't the best. It was a 75. They have him ranked as 78 total. But his prospect grade is good, 6.24, so that means he will eventually become a starter. I think this adds some depth to the defensive back room. I would like to see the Colts go with a defensive back. Again, even if the Colts like nail the Snead thing down, which whatever that is, even if the Colts signed a veteran safety, I still think the more you can add some young depth to this, I like it. And especially in the second or third round, I think this would be a really good move for the Colts. So I like this grade. Add to a second year of Juju Brents. Like, I don't think you can go wrong here. I think I have to look at who's available. Or who would be available here. But I think I would like to see them go safety here. Again, depending on what they go with in the rest of the draft, in the rest of the free agency, excuse me. So anyways, that's TJ Tampa out of Iowa State. That they have him selected number 2 overall. His weaknesses, upright in his back pedal, causing imbalance in transitions, lacks top gear to run with wide receiver vertical speed. That's a big deal. Like, that's where we got burned last year. That was the big plays, was not being able to transition from that backpedaling to a full-out sprint. And then this is another gets lost in versus slippery route runners. So I like the going with a defensive back. I would be curious to know if they go with a guy like TJ Tampa. So not as much a fan of this pick as much as I was Brian Thomas Jr., but I think I want to see them go wide receiver really bad. So that's round 2. Round 3 in the NFL mock draft, the Colts are selecting, according to this pick, Jermaine Burton, who's a wide receiver out of Alabama. This pick is, I don't know why they would go wide receiver 2 out of the first 3 rounds, so I don't love this. Maybe they go with something else. But yeah, so this pick, Jermaine Burton out of wide receiver. His athleticism score is good. He's got an 83. Overall 79, which is great for a round 3 pick. And then they have him at 196 pounds, 6 foot. So he's another mid-range guy. His 40-yard dash was similar to Michael Pittman's, so 4.45, a 1.53 split on the 10-yard. So yeah, this would be a good pick. Add to that wide receiver depth room. I still think I would rather them go wide receiver early, and then go defense or offensive line in the later picks. I think I would like to see them go. I would like to see them go with a guy like Brandon Coleman at a TCU, who's an offensive lineman. But again, it all depends on, there's so many variables, especially when you get to this point in the draft. So those are my picks for the first 3, like the latest mock draft that we got from the Pro Football Network. So obviously Mel Kiper is going to be releasing one soon, so that'll be an even more in-depth one. So we'll be excited to go through that one as well. But this just gives us a little bit of a taste, a little bit of an inkling of where the Colts might go in this next draft. There's still a lot to be decided. We're only through round 1 of free agency. Like the hype is still there. So there's still so much to figure out, but I think that it's fun to get into this and be like, okay, where are the Colts going? There's been links to them getting the running back out of Texas. There's been links to Brock Bowers. There's been links to so many people, Terrion Arnold, if he's available. I mean, that would be a really good cornerback that, again, you just keep adding to these guys. Keep giving depth. Keep getting young guys. We want to be younger, faster, and quicker, and I think that this gives us the option for all of that. So we'll see where the Colts go, but that's my take for the most recent mock draft. Be sure to like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell. We're going to be doing Colts videos every single day. So it's good to see you, and we'll see you on the next one.